Congratulations on choosing to finally understand fast English so that you can travel easily, get the job of your dreams, and meet friends around the world. Today you'll learn how my proven 4-step listening method will help you to level up your listening skills so that you can understand fast English. Have you ever tried watching an English movie or TV show and thought, oh my goodness, I cannot understand what they're saying. It's like they're speaking a completely different language than the one that I learned in school. Have you ever thought that? Well, you know what? You're right. In school, you learned classroom English, not real English for daily conversations. But what if you could understand real English? What if you could express yourself completely and make friends around the world and teach them about your culture? Imagine if every time your boss, clients, or coworkers spoke in English, you could understand them easily and respond to them confidently, fluently, and clearly. Maybe you could make more money and have great relationships with the people around you. Wouldn't that be great? Maybe you're wondering, but Vanessa, is that possible? Well, I'm glad you asked. I've created the 4-step listening method to help you quickly level up your listening skills so that you can easily understand fast English movies, TV shows, and conversations. After using the 4-step listening method, student Kin said, "I'm now confident in listening to English conversations." So what is the 4-step listening method? Let's see. Step 1, listen to a clip from a real English conversation so that you can train your ears to understand fast, real English. Step 2, listen to a slow version of that same conversation so that you can catch all of the words that you didn't hear before. Step 3, write down exactly what you hear so that you can test your listening skills. Step 4, review the transcript and compare it with what you wrote so that you can see how much you've improved your listening. So let's practice with that right now. Here is the conversation outline. First, you will hear Jonathan's voice, then my voice, then his voice again. If you have a piece of paper, I recommend writing JVJ so that you can prepare yourself for what you're going to hear and you can write it in the correct place. This lesson is from day 21, but today it's a free sample. Now let's listen to this fast original clip. We're gonna listen to it 3 times. It is very fast. This is a natural, quick conversation. So if it seems too fast, don't worry, we're gonna listen to the slow version in just a moment. All right, let's go and listen to that original conversation 3 times. Let's listen and try to write at the same time.
So, men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one.
Uh-huh.
And the women's game's coming up, and it's gonna be easy. So I went out there, and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards, police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them. So, men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one.
Uh-huh.
And the women's game's coming up, and it's gonna be easy. So I went out there, and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards, police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them. So, men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one.
Uh-huh.
And the women's game's coming up, and it's gonna be easy. So I went out there, and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards, police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them.
Did you feel like that was definitely too fast? Well, Native English speakers and advanced English learners can understand him. You're gonna hear this type of English when you're traveling to the US, when you're having business meetings, having conversations with other people. So I want to help you take this in and understand it. Let's take a deep breath and we're gonna listen to the slow version. You'll hear me and my husband Dan saying the exact same words that you heard me and Jonathan say, but slowed down a lot. I hope you'll be able to understand each word more clearly, and this is a great opportunity. If you couldn't write down all of the words before, now you can do that. Of course, feel free to pause this video as you need to so that you can write everything and really take advantage of this material. All right, let's listen to the slow version 3 times.
So, men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one. And the women's game's coming up, and it's going to be easy. So I went out there and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards, police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them. So, men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one. And the women's game's coming up, and it's going to be easy. So I went out there and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards, police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them. So, men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one. And the women's game's coming up, and it's going to be easy. So I went out there and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards, police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them.
Did you write everything you heard? If you join the 150-day listening challenge, you'll be able to download each of the lessons each day and go back and review it as many times as you want. But for this lesson, you can just pause the video if you need to go back. So how was this? Was it too fast? Did the slow version help you? We're gonna go on to the next step, which is taking a look at the transcript and trying to learn some new words with this. There are 3 new words that you're gonna learn in each lesson every day, but we're also gonna be taking a look at some trouble sections that might have been difficult for you. Let's take a look at the transcript. So here you have the transcript of our conversation. I'm gonna read it slowly and then go through different things that you can learn from this short clip. First, Jonathan says, "So, men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one." You can see at the bottom there are 3 vocabulary words that I want you to learn with each lesson, and this is one of them, to ace something. That means that you did a great job. You might say, "I aced my test," or "I aced my first day on the job because I did really well." So you're talking about doing well. So he did a great job being a referee for the men's game. But then something bad is gonna happen. Let's go on to his next sentence. "And the women's game's coming up, and it's going to be easy." He uses another great expression, to come up. This is talking about something that's happening soon. My birthday is coming up, Or Christmas is coming up. The new year is coming up. It's going to be happening soon. It's coming up and it's going to be easy. Let's take a moment to look at the grammar of this sentence. He says, the women's game is coming up. It is going to be easy. Is he being a referee right then as I'm having that conversation with him? You can imagine probably not. This is talking about something that happened in the past. But why does he use the present tense? The game is coming up. It is going to be easy. Well, this is a storytelling technique in English that sometimes we use the present tense to talk about something that happened in the past to make the listener feel like they're right there in the action as it's happening. So we go back and forth between the present and the past tense when telling a story. And that's what he does in his next sentence. He uses the past tense. Let's move on. So I went out there and it wasn't. He went out to the soccer or football field and it wasn't easy. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point. So he's contrasting the men and the women's game. The men's game went great, but the women's game was the worst game he had ever had. I put a little star here beside the word I've because this is actually incorrect grammar. He should have said, it was the worst game I had ever had up until that point. But I wanted to highlight this because native speakers sometimes make mistakes when they're speaking, but they're still understandable, especially when you're speaking quickly or using a complex verb tense like have ever had or had ever had. That can be a little complex, and when you're speaking quickly, sometimes you're not thinking about it. So I hope this gives you some peace of mind that sometimes we make mistakes as well. All right, let's go on to the short phrase that I say. In response to his explanation about the worst game, I said, no way. Am I disagreeing with him? No, I wasn't there for that game. I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm just expressing shock. So we often use this expression to just say, I'm shocked. For example, if you are walking down the street, like down here in the vocabulary section, and you find $20 on the sidewalk, you might tell your friend, I found $20 on the sidewalk. And your friend would say, no way! They're not disagreeing with you. They're just saying, that's shocking. That's amazing. So they're being shocked at what you said. All right, let's go on to the last part of the conversation. Jonathan says, I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards, police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them. Here he uses some interesting filler words. He says, I think, 5 red cards. And then later on he says, I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games. This is quite common for conversation that we add into our speech, these kind of filler expressions. It's very casual, it's very comfortable, and it's quite normal. So if you didn't understand everything that Jonathan said during the fast version or even during the slow version, it's possible that it's because he used some new vocabulary for you. So I hope that today you're able to learn that new vocabulary. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back, listen to that original fast version, but this time we're going to be looking at the transcript that we just studied. I want you to listen for his words and also read them at the same time. I think you'll be pretty amazed that you're actually understanding more than the first time because you've studied the fast version, the slow version, you've analyzed that clip with me so you know some of the different things that are happening, and now you can finally listen to it and your ears are opened. So let's listen to that fast clip a couple times and I want you to be amazed. Let's watch.
So men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one. And the women's game's coming up, and it's going to be easy. So I went out there, and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards. Police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them. So men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one. And the women's game's coming up, and it's going to be easy. So I went out there, and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards. Police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them. So men's game went great, and I'm sure I aced that one. And the women's game's coming up, and it's going to be easy. So I went out there, and it wasn't. It was the worst game I've ever had up until that point.
No way.
I had, I think, 5 red cards, 3 yellow cards. Police were called, and so I had to terminate the game. I've probably done, 8, 9, 10,000 games, and I've only terminated maybe 5 of them.
Thousands of English learners from around the world have challenged themselves and leveled up their listening skills so that they can understand fast English conversations with the 150-day listening challenge. In the 150-day listening challenge, you receive 1 challenge lesson per day. Each day, you will listen to a fast real conversation, a slow version of the real conversation. You will write exactly what you hear, and then you will check your work with the transcript to level up your listening skills day by day. Listening challenge student Mizar said, "When I started day 1, it was quite challenging for me. But day by day, my listening was improving. And during this listening challenge, I gained a lot of vocabulary and expressions that I didn't know before." That's wonderful, Mizar. Well, the course has worked for thousands of other English learners, but can it work for you? This course is for you if you want to improve your English listening skills so that you can specifically understand fast English conversations. This course is for you if you can understand my YouTube videos, but you can't quite understand everything from English movies and TV shows. This course is for you if you are willing to dedicate 5 to 10 minutes every day to level up your listening skills. And this course is for you if you are a high beginner, intermediate, or advanced English learner. This is not for low beginners, but I have some good news. If you can understand this video, you're a great level for the course. And I have some good news. If you join the 150-day listening challenge this week, you can get a 60% off discount. Usually the challenge is $500, but if you join this week, you can get the course for $300 off. The total price is $199. This is less than $2 per day. An amazing deal. Do you still feel hesitant about joining the course? Maybe you don't want to waste your money. Well, I feel so confident that you will finally understand fast, real English conversations that I would like to give you my no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Simply send me an email within 30 days of your purchase and tell me that you would like a refund, and immediately I will give you your money back. No hassle, no problems. I can't wait to see you in the course. Click the button below to join us, and I'll see you there. Bye!